Okay, we are live. Hello,
Awesome.
everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lauren Selrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
We have a full lineup today.
I know. We were bursting with topics. You want me to start?
Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and let you start off first, Meryl.
Okay. Well, I've been seeing the first thing I want to start with this with is like, I think you are too, but I'm a big fan of just keeping like a positive mindset about things and not thinking negative. And I feel like lately I've been seeing so much about it being like a really hard job market. And I feel like my TikTok algorithm is like swipe after swipe. I'm just seeing people saying I applied for a million jobs and I didn't get into any of them. And like, I can't find a job, but also I'm trying to like stay positive because I also feel like things are abundant and people can find jobs all the time. But this I saw this article and I was like, this may make some sense now because it said bosses are lying to burned out employees by posting fake jobs to give false hope that help is on the way. So pretty much they did a study and they found out that like thousands of job places were posting pretend job openings. They tended to be more on like Indeed or LinkedIn or like third party websites. It wasn't their own website, but they were posting that there was openings and they were doing like multiple things with their applicants. So the first thing is they were just seeing how much like the competition wanted, like seeing how much salary kind of was in demand. Number two was they were going as far as interviewing these actual people to like they'd have them in for an interview for a job that really wasn't real. And then number three is like the least worst, but still pretty bad, is that they were just keeping their applications for the future. Like, knowing that there was nothing now, they were just like, okay, let's see who's out there in general, but there's not a job right now. And that just makes me like, so, first of all, this also said this is not illegal, which it seems like it should be. It's just bad practices, but like companies can do it. And the article also said that like one way to always make sure that it's not fake is pretty much like they won't do it if it's on their own website. So always to go to the company's direct website and like, look for job openings there.
Mhm.
But I just thought that's so sad because the thought of someone like on their 13th job application of the day and like taking the time to update their resume and write a cover letter, and like people really put time and effort into those things, and just to like have that be for a fake job is just so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I know years ago companies used to put up a fake job just to show supposedly that they're looking to fill a position, even though they already have someone inside that they're going to slide into.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know they
yeah.
did that, but this is taking it to a whole different level because it's stressful enough when you're trying to apply for a new job, but then to have it in the back of your mind that, this may be a fake opening, or even the people they're thinking they're going to get help because they're overwhelmed, it just puts a sour taste in people's mouths.
Exactly. And one person that in the article that had switched over said they were the one that used to do it in HR, and one of the also reasons why is they wanted to create like competition within the people already working there to kind of show like, oh, you may be on the chopping block and don't get too comfortable. So the company would put out fake job postings just to make it seem like if one wrong move and they would be gone and they would hire other people, which is just crazy.
Yeah, until it backfires and that person decides, okay, you know what, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they go find like a real job posting somewhere else. But like,
Hmm.
what do you think about? I mean, I know you're set in your job right now, and I'm definitely like I am good with work, but I think I'm starting to just look around at different opportunities. It's always good to just see what else is out there. What do you feel about people saying that it like things are really bleak or it's impossible to get a job? Because I feel like someone has to be getting a job. Like, when there's an opening, I'm like, one person is actually getting this job. So it may be bleak for someone, but it may be like the best news for someone else, right?
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the job market is one industry may be struggling where another one can't find enough people.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
if you look at things to me that you love to do, that you really enjoy doing, and be flexible. In other words, okay, if this type of role won't work, what other role would you do? Or a situation of, okay, I know you want to be 5 minutes away from the job. Can you be flexible and let's say be 15 or
Yeah.
30 minutes away from the job? You know, there's creative ways of finding opportunities if you're flexible.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And I feel like it's crazy now with because something I've heard a lot is for people to like some of the jobs that I do more with podcasting and writing, you're supposed to
Mhm.
put on your resume that you're like that you are good at AI and that you know how to do like chat GBT and everything. Whereas before it was kind of like this little dirty secret, you know, that you don't talk about.
Mhm.
And now a lot of companies are saying like we want to know if you like and know anything about AI and almost like those are the people getting to the next round. And so that's just so and like I've heard different things about if you have a picture on your resume, it actually hurts you or you know whatever. But so it's just crazy. We could do a whole. I'll let you get to your thing, but I feel like this is so interesting because I think it has to do with mindset a lot of just like staying positive and knowing that there's abundant opportunities. But also when you hear articles like this that companies are acting a fool, it's not easier.
Yeah, I remember when I had my own other companies, and one thing that most people need to realize, because there's literally about 100 different ways you can format a resume, and you
Mm-hmm.
know you have some people that's so focused on no, it has to be formatted this way. The reality is, depending on the company, they can get a couple resumes, they can get a couple thousand. What they do is they run them through a database and they pick out keywords in your resume. So it's really about what's in that resume versus the format of the resume.
Is that like the applicant tracking system or something? Like,
I
is
think
that
so. They have that and they have other stuff too. So literally what it's doing, they're looking for certain words within your resume. And those are
wow?
the ones they'll pull out and actually take a look at.
So do you think it's usually words matching what the job description is?
Hmm. And
See,
also
yeah,
sometimes some employers look for things that they don't list in the job description too. You know, there's
like
hidden
what?
things that maybe they want to see. Like for example, I'm in sales. I'll just use myself as an example. You may have an employer that wants someone that does sales. Um, you know, do you sell vehicles? Well, they may leave out the fact that okay, I need someone who knows how to build a truck and who knows how to sell a truck. That's a different type of skill. I do have those skills, but if they don't put that down there, there may be something that they're looking for. But
Wow.
sometimes they'll purposely leave stuff out just to get more respondents in to get a bigger pool of people to look at.
Oh,
So things that may not be in that job description but is relevant, you probably want to put in there as well.
so interesting. That is so interesting just to know that like there's a system that matches for keywords. And that is
I mean,
where yeah.
oh no, I was gonna say if you think about it, and let's say they get 2,000 resumes in, there's no way someone's gonna sit there and look through 2,000 resumes.
No. And I liked how one of these TikToks about like about the job thing was like, I had that I graduated like cum laude or something, and someone commented and said like, no one cares about that except for your mother. So,
Wow.
I know, but just like everything, I really do feel like with even with dating, with everything, it's so good to just not have the mindset that you're doomed. There's no opportunities, you know, because I really do believe that it like I know for me too, probably you is that like you to get out there and networking. That's usually how I have found most of my jobs is like really
Mhm.
showing up somewhere in real life and you know like talking to actual humans always seems to work better than just like sitting at home. But anyway, I took this up. We could do a whole separate hour on resumes and job stuff. So don't
We need
apply
to.
to fake jobs. That's the point of this article.
That's true. That's true. Well, not knowingly at least, but I think it's a little underhanded for jobs to post fake ads though.
Very much. Absolutely. I really think that that should be like a non-legal business practice, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. The sad part, it is legal, very unethical, but it is legal.
Yeah. I was once, I can tell the secret now because I didn't sign an NDA, but I had a job that I knew I was going to get like within the company. And I was on the other end where I like had the job, but they still had to go through and post all the things that were important. And they did like 3 interviews and I knew one of the girls and I felt so bad knowing
Mm.
that
Oh
I already
wow.
had the job. Yeah, she kept asking me like, "How do you think your interview went?" I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to tell."
Well, if she watches this, she'll know. So
I know, I know. I just wished her happy birthday, so I think we're on good terms. But yes, totally.
Nice, nice. Well, the next subject is not so nice.
Uh-oh.
I'm quite sure you've heard about the killing of Sonia Massey
Oh my gosh, yes.
by that deputy sheriff. Um, you know, what's so crazy about this whole thing is not only the fact that an innocent person was killed by an officer, more and more things started to come out about the officer. Like for one, I found it very shocking that he worked for six different departments in a 4 year period.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Yes.
shocked me.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, how the hell did he get hired by this police department? And then, they started playing, I guess, different meetings he's had with prior, bosses, where he's gotten reprimanded for not being truthful when things happen. Okay, I mean they're cleaning it up. I mean basically for lying. Okay, there's cleaning up the
Right.
words, but
And
and
how could that
then
not be like immediate suspect, like just all around, like not working anymore? You know what I mean? Like if you're found to be untruthful, that should be like immediate letting go.
the one thing that's surprising to me is, obviously when you go from one department to the other, they do some type of background check. How deep it is, I
Hmm.
don't know, but you would think that they would do a thorough background check because, and also too, I guess the other departments, like if you go on from one department to the other, they said, "Oh, he's a good officer," even though he wasn't a good officer. And to me, I think there's blame to go around for everyone because if you don't want this person on your department, why pawn them off on another police department?
Right. And this was like they said too that does she live alone? Uh I was reading now just about, oh, it's so sad. It's like all these pictures. And yeah, it said that there's video footage of her saying like please don't hurt me.
Yep.
And yeah, and that's like, I mean, that is just like the most ridiculous thing, and she's not doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing about her, Merle, is, you know, she was nowhere near him when he took the shots. And there was two officers there. He was the only one that shot.
Right.
And he told her to pick up the hot water, and then she had said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And then he pulled out the gun. She went to the floor with her hands in the air, and he opened fire. He first said that he he shot her because she ran towards him with the water, and his camera was off. It was the other officer's camera that was on that. When you see it, you see, okay, he lied through his teeth,
Yeah.
which is
Yep.
probably why he got charged so fast.
I mean, like, I mean, what do you think? Like, I feel like this should be even more of like an uprising as it is than it is. Like, I mean, I saw this as news, but I feel like this should be like very, very. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, this should be huge news where like people, uh, like I don't want to say rioting. I'm trying to think of the other word, like picketing, or you know what I mean, like or like I don't know, protesting and everything. That's
Mhm.
basically like this seems like it would be a protest waiting to happen because that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, obviously, the only way to fix stuff like this is with legislation. Like for
Yeah.
one, um, those departments need to be forced to tell the truth about officers. If
Yes.
you got an officer that you don't want in your department, you need to tell other departments. Don't just keep that to yourself. That's the first problem. And the other thing too is if you're a police officer, you lie on your report, you should get prison time to me. And I know some people may go,
Absolutely.
"Oh, you're being cruel." I said no, because the problem is that you can't have it where an officer feels comfortable where if they know they lied, they kill someone, their go-to is to start lying, knowing
Right.
that there's a possibility they can get away with it. We got to stop that. I mean, that's got to be the deterrent.
Yeah. Yeah. There needs to be like examples of people of like I can't just act like this, otherwise there's going to be consequences.
And the sad part about it, Merle, is how many other officers are on forces right now that's got the same type of background that we're not even
Probably
aware
a
of.
lot. Yeah. And if that's like training or like you said, weeding out the bad people from the beginning when they show like the first or second signs of not being right or having some type of like ill Like, yeah, that is not right. I'm looking now, it's so sad.
Yeah.
And how mad would you be if like that was your family and it's on tape visible of what happened? Like that's just I don't think any of us could imagine how someone would feel.
No, I mean, even though they obviously stopped the video before,
Mhm,
you see
mhm.
the gruesome part, as a family member, you kind of seeing that over and over and over again. And it's almost like you're reliving that moment.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like there's a special place for those people that hear someone saying like, "Please don't hurt me," and basically saying like, "I'm not going to hurt you back. I'm not a threat," and then still going through with the violent act. That's just like, ugh, that is not good.
Let's hope that they do some. Let's hope that they do something with legislation on that, because this is just getting to the point where it has to stop. At some
I
point, this needs
know.
to stop.
I really do think though too that I have to imagine like so much of the other police force sees something like this and they're like, come on, man. Like I do think there's a lot of people out there. Like I know there's bad people in everything, but I feel like there's enough people that see this and they're probably like, this is just wrong. And I don't know. I hope.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, he got kicked off those other forces because it's just like in business sometimes. Just because a person resigns don't mean they weren't fired. Sometimes you have that
Yeah.
choice of, you can resign or I can fire you,
Yes.
but you're still being fired. You just kind of skirting around it a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like they do that a lot with like teachers, or anytime there's something bad with a teacher, they're like, you could resign quietly, or and retire, or you could never. I actually know of a story that happened, that someone knows, a very quick thing, but they made a teacher retire because it was said he was having inappropriate like talking to with another student, but then and
Mm.
he retired and kind of went away, but then it actually happened that it wasn't true, and like the student made it all up and he got in trouble for nothing, and like the student
Oh,
basically said like, whoops, like I just was dared to say that.
oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so they like ruined this whole person's life. And of course, like he retired, but everyone in the community pretty much knew what had happened and they like didn't believe him. And then sure enough, the kid was like, whoops, this went a little far. Like he actually was not texting me. Like,
But this real sad part about that, Merle, and I think personally, depending on how long it took before he admitted it, that student should be charged too, because what happens is that when someone does speak up about something that happens, now there's a possibility that people kind of maybe second guess it.
yes, yes. If you're like, I mean, if you're, to me, if you're over the age of like 9 or 10 and you do something like this, like there should be consequences. Like obviously it's not jail because they're just kids, but like there has to be some giant consequences, and like parents have to go to trainings after that. Like all three of them have to go to some type of family trainings. Like I think there should be a lot of that.
Yeah. We'll keep
Woo!
an eye on this story. Hopefully it gets better though.
I know. Okay, we're gonna take it still sad, but not as sad. Just more crazy. This past weekend, I saw this online too, and I kind of lived it because I'm here in Southern California. Is that the freeway between Vegas and Southern California? The whole weekend was pretty much shut down because a truck carrying large lithium batteries overturned near Baker, California, and like anyone that doesn't know, for reference, the drive between especially like LA and San Diego and then Vegas, it's about like 5 to 6 hours if things are going well. But if things aren't
Hmm.
going well, it's 7 to 8 arduous hours in the middle of the desert, and like there's large stretches where there's nowhere to get off. There's like one kind of well-known gas station where it's like you either get gas there or you are on your own if you run out of gas and you're in the middle of the desert. So people were stuck on the lane for up to like, I think it was like 44 hours. People called it
Oh,
a crisis situation, and so people were stuck for like at least 10 hours, most cars, in 100-degree heat, and you're in the desert with like, there's not like there's a 7-Eleven to really walk to. You're pretty much in the middle of nowhere. People were getting out of their cars and like walking. Other people were trying to drive down a ditch and like getting stuck that way. Everyone was trying to do
mm,
a different way. And thank goodness, like no one actually, there was no fatalities. But I mean, I could just imagine if you're like elder or if you have a pet with you,
mhm.
imagine if you have a dog or a baby with you, like That is a really, really scary, like almost like disaster like situation. That's really scary.
Oh, very scary. I mean, most of us, me included, probably don't have the things in the car that we probably should have.
I
You know,
know, I know. So, like, what would be the things that you like? I mean, obviously, water. You should always have water.
right?
And then what
I
else
would
would you? If
I would
it was
say
like your son, like,
water.
what would you tell him?
I would say water, obviously, a blanket, simple tools, like 4 or 5 small pieces of tools, um, some snacks, something
Yeah,
like maybe granola bars or something that won't expire right away.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then some flares, obviously, in case you um are stranded at night, probably the basic stuff.
Oh, see,
The
that's
stuff that
good.
we all should be doing that, most of us really don't do, but
I have like during the pandemic with my stimulus check, I was ordering left and right all these. I was ordering like seatbelt cutters and like choking. I wish I could show you. I have like this instrument called the dechoker, like, and then like now I like a don't know how to use any of them. I never actually like took the time to learn how to use it, and b like if I was like flying off into a lake, I'd be like, darn it, like where is my seatbelt cutter? Like I have no clue where this is. I also this is like way too much information, but I ordered like a funnel for if I needed to go to the bathroom, number one, but like if I have to go like a funnel for women to pee into, and I'm just like, why can't I just not like do it in a cup? Like I was like, why do I need a funnel? I don't know. But uh yeah.
well,
but but that
at
really
least you didn't do like the astronaut did. That remember that year that astronaut drove to do some harm to her lover's boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it was, and
oh yeah.
she was wearing diapers because she didn't
That's
want to stop. Remember that?
right. Oh my gosh, that's right. And I've heard that a lot of people like when they race cross country that they wear diapers too. But yeah, that just go especially if people are like new to this stretch of land in particular. Like if you're doing the California to Vegas thing, it's so I think it shocks a lot of people how little gas stations there are on the way. Because
Mm,
you think of Vegas as such like a big tourist destination, which it is, but then 20 to 30 minutes right outside of it is you're pretty much in no man's land. But um I think that's just so lucky that no one died because it's like you're out for
mhm.
hours in the heat and that's just so scary.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if you're in that area, you want to make sure you always have a full tank. Never let
Yeah,
it get past half.
exactly. And don't you feel like if you're a truck driver, the last thing you want to be in charge of is big lithium batteries? It's like I'd be like, give me like the water guns or like I'll carry around like styrofoam noodles or something. Like I don't need to be in charge of this.
Yeah, yeah, because you get an accident in that it could be your last accident.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Woo! Yes, that was crazy. Speaking of crazy, good old JD Vance.
Oh my gosh.
See, the interesting thing is when you run for public office, especially on a federal level, stuff you said in the past has a way of coming back up.
Oh yeah. Yes. They're gonna dig
And
it
I'm
up.
quite sure you probably heard of this, but I guess he made a comment. Well, actually, no, I saw the video. He didn't make the comment about, Democrats are being ran by childless women that live with cats. And, we should give people who have kids more votes than people who don't. I mean,
Right.
it was like weird, to be honest with you. It was just like really off the
Yeah.
level. But what was cool about it was so many women hit the internet and says, I'm a proud cat lady. And it
Yeah.
was hysterical. What do you think about what he said?
Oh, oh my gosh. Well, like I also feel like if I had to guess, I feel like the single woman cat lady probably does pretty well and like pays it good in taxes. So I feel like of all the people we have to like worry about in our society, the single childless cat woman is like probably a model citizen. If I know a few, I'm kind of teetering on. I'm a non-child having dog lady. So like but I mean to me it's just so unbelievably weird that like men or whoever would care that I don't want a child. Like that's so weird to me. I don't care if someone has like one babies or no baby, like that's just so unbelievably like I have to tune it out of my mind because otherwise it's like so weird to think about it. And also putting a value on women that lowers when you don't have any children is just like such a weird, wrong way to think. And like, and I saw someone comment and they were like, oh, like I had a baby that actually like passed away when it was like less than a year old. Does that make me like one of those women? Like, am I now like a horrible person and stuff? And so it's like there's all these nuances, and yeah, it's very scary and very weird. So I know he probably said it like people can say things of just, like we all say like the weird guys on Reddit, or I've probably made some incel type comments like just kidding, and obviously I don't wish harm to any of these people, but I feel like we'll all say something to like as a blanket group of people, like just weird nerds or whatever. But it's weird when like a lot of people take it so seriously and then they're like, yeah, we hate the cat ladies, or so I think like leaders have to be careful what they say.
Oh yeah, but what was so crazy about it, made it even worse, is when the news media brought it up to him, he kind of doubled down on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that might not have been a smart thing to do.
I know, and it's just the weirdest thing, and like the voting, like wanting more children to count as more votes. It's just like it's very what's the show about, like, oh, Handmaid's Tale. It just is like it really feels, for where we are like in the world, it just feels so backwards, and just I can't believe we're having to still like waste time by talking about all this stuff, in politics.
But I guess whether or not you're deep into politics or not, to me it's shocking that you would disrespect or go after the woman vote, because women, that voting block is a very large, powerful block that always votes.
Right.
Being that, well, it was kind of tight, but Kamala's kind of creeping a little bit away.
Yeah,
but when you're in a heated battle, you really don't want to piss off a whole block of voters, to me.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, no, I really do think, I texted one of my friends and I was like, no one's making me more Democrat than Republicans like right now. And so, and to be quite honest, I have felt that way before about like early pandemic. I actually felt that way about liberal stuff, about like, I'm just like, if I switch over, this is going to be the Democrats' fault that they're losing me, but either way, like whatever. I mean, I also don't think most people in the Republican Party feel this like very strong way. I have to believe that most people nowadays are like, understand that it's totally okay for women not to have children. And I'm a big fan of like, if people want to have the family structure, or like I love family dynamics, I love like we're all there supporting each other, but that family could look like many different things, and it could be a single cat lady and her brother, or like a single cat lady and an adopted child, so it's like so weird and small-minded to think that it has to look like exactly how like one guy wants it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, everything doesn't have to be debated out in the open. However you want your family to be is your business. It has zero to do with your politics.
Yeah. Yeah. And like what I just can't understand like how someone would like lessen someone because they decide not to have children. And there are hundreds of reasons why someone may not want or can't have a child. So that's so weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I said, it's gonna be interesting the way you're pissing off, GD Vance is pissing off a lot of voters.
Boy, I know. I almost feel like if I was Trump, I'd be like, hello, like, let's put it back on me. I'm like, he's kind of taking up Trump's usual, like, media headlines.
That's true.
If anything, he's, like, letting Trump relax a little bit and doing some of that stuff. Yeah, it's nuts. That was yours, right? Yep. Okay. So, okay. Well, back to the hot days. This doesn't surprise us after we just talked about what just happened in Vegas, but NASA says that Earth just had the hottest day ever recorded. So July 22nd, which look, that was like last week, right? Or yeah, about last week, was the hottest day observed in the modern satellite record. So in at least 800,000 years that they've been temperaturing and taking quick analyses of global temperatures. So I'll have to look at my calendar, but I mean, to me, the heat didn't seem as like oppressive as the rest of it. It's all been like one very hot July. Did you notice anything on July 22nd. I'm trying to look at what the that was like last Monday.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know where I'm at here in the Midwest, it's been very hot. You know, a lot of high 80s, low 90s. A lot of tornadoes have been coming through too. I mean, it's been kind
Really?
of, you know, weather-wise, it's been crazy this year. I don't know what's going on, but so much for that. Hey, global warming doesn't exist, huh? So
I know. What does JD Vance have to say about this? I would love it. He's like, it's turning hotter because the women aren't having babies, and it's like the devil showing his disappointment in all of like in all the cat ladies.
I tell you one thing though, the weather has been crazy, but and actually the winters haven't been as bad as previous years, so um, I don't know long term what's going to happen, but yeah, it definitely has been a lot warmer than usual. How about over by
Yeah.
you?
Um, Super hot, but not as bad. I honestly think for us last year was worse. I live in Burbank, California, and like there was a stretch of a week last year that like we couldn't even go out to our cars. It was just like boiling. And my boyfriend's a mailman too, so he's out in the sun
Mhm.
like all the time. And it's so nice when people leave like little Gatorade bottles or they
Oh
leave
yeah.
like water bottles. That's so sweet. But it feels very, very hot, but like no, actually does not feel unbearably hot. I just had something that popped in my mind when we talked about just to go back to your story too. I feel like there should be a gathering of like all different types, races, everything, all ages, all different types of single cat ladies, and I feel like they should all come together in like one convention, and like whatever hotel or convention center opens that up is going to be that's going to be like the funniest thing ever. I feel like that
That
could
would
be
be
like a
hilarious.
wouldn't it? And like people traveling from all over with their cats and like just women. I feel like that would be the best like marketing idea for some big they should do it in whatever like city JD Vance lives in.
You know what would be really cool? I don't know. Well, you know what they may do it is if he had some type of event and all of a sudden thousands and thousands of quote unquote cat ladies showed up
Yes,
with their cats,
yes.
that would be
Oh my gosh,
hilarious.
it really would, and I feel like millions of women would go. Like they really would. Even either they bring their cats or they dress like a cats or they
Mhm.
just like embrace singleness and because I just think of all the prototypes of like people and things. A woman just choosing to like be on her own and own a cat is like the most peaceful, nice thing I could think. Like that's not hurting anyone. She's
Mhm.
existing nicely. Like that's just the nicest like sim character of anyone I could think of. So it's just maybe I'm gonna start this, but if I really don't like cats at all. So if I'll have the dog one. Just like a bunch of single women with Saint Bernards and like golden retrievers. I feel like I would totally go to that.
uh, ooh, this is a good one coming up. There is a female rugby star. She's in her early 20s, and her name is Iona Maher. And she's actually a TikTok sensation. And she's very muscular because she plays sports. She's like one of the top rugby players in women's sports. And she was talking about how she used to be bullied online and teased, about her size.
Mhm.
I mean, she's very muscular because she plays sports. And you know, unfortunately, you get supporters, but you also get people that just say some of the rudest,
Yeah, yeah.
silliest thing. So it showed her getting emotional, but she's like, she embraces who she is. And when she's not playing sports, she's actually, in a dress, bikinis, whatever, just a normal woman.
Yep.
But, why do you think people are just so effing ignorant that, they just get on there and just troll people for no reason,
Yeah. I don't know how there's so many people like that. I think it only comes if you like on some level if you hate your own body or if you're threatened by your own self because anyone that I know that has like self-love for their own body and like all the pluses and minuses or if you're
Mhm.
empathetic to like yourself and others you just wouldn't put anyone down like that and like I just think it's a lack of like intelligence or something I don't know that like all bodies can be different and like realizing that if a body doesn't look a certain way I don't know if that's like education or their parents just didn't teach them well. Like, I don't know how that happened. I think some of it is just like plain ugliness inside, but a lot of it is you're just taught, you know, or you're made to feel bad about your own body. So you internalize it and like spew it out.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, I was told this a long time ago that, once you start getting into, doing like what we do now, or you do any kind of projects where you start to get seen by a lot of people, you're going to have people that will hate you for no reason whatsoever. And
Yeah.
just, so, you have to develop thick skin
Definitely. Oh my
because
gosh,
of it.
all the time with like with stand up. I see people that I get on both ends. I get a lot of women that have told me that they love that I'm like confident, whether my weight is up or down or however I'm looking. And then I also get people that I could tell that they're like, I don't get it. Like, why does she feel uncomfortable to go on stage like that? And it's
Wow.
like, who cares? Like, I saw this thing about a girl saying she got like arm liposuction. So now she finally feels comfortable in like a tank top, and she showed a picture of herself and it was just like normal looking. And part of me is like, or you could skip all of the time and money and like danger to yourself and you could just learn to feel confident as you are. But
Hmm.
I understand that people want to make like tweaks, but it's comments like that from these weird like bots, I think, that make people feel bad.
You know what'll be interesting? Now, obviously, it'll take someone that has the resource to do it. You know, when you get a person that starts talking about the way you look and all that, maybe do a little investigation and find out about that person. Get their picture up.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the time, even though no one should be doing it, but most of the time, the people that are saying those rude, ignorant things are people that, let's say, you may want to say, you're saying all this about me, but have you stepped in front of a mirror lately?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Or like, I wish we had enough when we get enough money, we'll do a spin-off show where like I'll take that person commenting on her stuff and I'm like, okay, now you're on TV playing rugby in front of the entire world. Like, go, like now we're gonna watch we're gonna take all the commenters that are like commenting on people, and I'm like, okay, you're commenting on like how weird Taylor Swift looks. Now you are on stage on Madison Square Garden and like do what she does. So it's
hmm
like and like calling out an athlete for how they look is so just ridiculous because it's like all she does is train and get her body in conditioning.
I mean, she's an athlete, so
Yeah.
obviously, yes. And I'm willing to bet you the people that are talking bad about her online probably would not walk up on her and swing. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. And that's definitely an unfortunate still girl thing more because I don't see a ton of like NFL players getting a
Yeah,
million people commenting if they like look 5 pounds, frumpy or lumpy or whatever. It's just
yeah,
it's annoying that we have to wear outfits that kind of like then show whether we're worthy or not in like a tight dress or. So yeah.
that's true. But I'm glad that she's letting people know. You know what? Don't worry about anybody. Be who you are and love yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the best thing you can do is just be like, yeah, I have cellulite or yeah, I have this or that. Like, awesome. Who cares? Like, that's it. I think the best thing you could do is just show people that you're not bothered by it.
Hmm. And whether people like it or not, everyone gets old, and everyone's gonna have things out of place. That's called life.
Exactly. Then we're gonna be skinny when we're skeletons. I'll be like, haha, you're gonna die too. Like,
That is so true. That is so true.
um, okay. Well, I feel like every week there's something about the airlines industry. So this week is our little airline tidbit where Southwest Airlines dropped the open seating and moves towards assigned seating. First of all, when I was doing research for this article, I typed in Southwest Airlines drops, and it's like so funny now about how all the stories about the plane dropping, planes
Hmm.
dropping. So it's like, okay, now I'm like scared because there's like so many stories about just planes dropping on Southwest. So basically, we they had the kind of first come first serve situation and like the A, B, and C all the time for Southwest. Now they're going to a more traditional model where you like assign your seat and you buy it beforehand. It seems to be they're still not sure exactly how this will work. It's going to take a little bit of time to roll out, but the general consensus of people are like, we're open to that, but we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, and we still want, 'em to be able to, like, fly, the 2 free bags, which made Southwest, one of the favorite airlines. Is you get 2 bags, and then also more of like the budget seating. So they're
Hmm.
hoping that some of the lower prices still holds true. And then they also said they may have a extra leg room in the plane that's going to take up a majority of the seats. So we'll see. How do you feel about that?
I mean, personally, I like having assigned seats just
Yeah, me
because of
too.
the fact that, if you're traveling with people, you want to be able to sit together. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you get on a plane and let's say you have some people and all of a sudden instead of being able to sit together, you're scattered throughout the plane just because it's open seating. And you may have a few rows where there's one person in that row,
Yeah.
and because you're together, you can't sit together because there's someone there. It's just kind of weird. And especially if you
Yes.
got kids too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I like to know what I'm working with too.
yeah, so I think that's a great thing. I'm not really crazy about being charged every little thing for well, that's a separate show, but anyway,
I know. Yeah, like Spirit Airlines somehow I'm always like, okay, I just paid like $200 extra. Why am I now that I could have just bought like a Delta ticket or something? I don't know though. Oh, and then the other thing is like they said that now they'll be doing more or they'll be doing red eyes, but like Southwest just scares me, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be like sleeping on a Southwest plane now. I'm just kind of freaked out until it's not Boeing's anymore. Like I don't, I'm gonna be wide awake and just freaking out the whole time.
yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty popular. I just hope they don't try to overcharge people for doing it.
Yeah, me too. But we'll
So
see.
yeah, that would be good. And in fact, speaking of airlines, this is actually pretty interesting. These two guys, they were passengers on Delta Airlines where they had that big fiasco where all the other airlines were up and running and Delta was still
Oh
having issues.
yes, yep, yep.
Well, they're members in some kind of flyers program. I forgot what it's actually called, but basically it's like a members only program for Delta, certain Delta passengers, where you go in. It's a special lounge. You get free food.
Oh
You get
yeah.
drinks, stuff like that. Well, I guess they feel that they were getting back by they'll order wine and just pour it out in the garbage, or they'll get a whole bunch of food, eat up most of it, and then just throw out the rest. One guy got in the shower because I guess there was a shower in there, and he just let the water run. He
Oh
didn't
my
undress
gosh.
anything, and then he just started squirting out the shampoo and the soap just to empty out the bottles. I mean, okay, we all got a good laugh watching that, but okay, they do realize that Delta's a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
I don't even think you're going to even be a blip on their radar. You
No,
know?
and I feel like federal like airline regulations can be so scary too. Where if you do something to kind of mess with the airlines or like at an airport, you could be
Hmm.
arrested. Like that could be a federal crime. And so like I feel like I mean of course I love it. It's like harmless fun, but that is crazy. Boy, Delta just is needs some good PR this month.
That is true. I don't know. I mean, I get it. You want to have fun, but I don't know. But you're right though, because there are so many different rules and laws when it comes
Yeah,
to
yeah,
airports and planes and stuff. Like if you go into the bathroom on an airplane, that's a federal crime.
yeah.
If you smoke in a bathroom, that's a federal crime.
Yep.
So,
So if you're in the shower of like an airport and squirting it all over, then I don't know.
so I see. And then what's so crazy about it to me is, okay, you want to do something crazy, but understand when you're putting it on social media, that could be used as evidence against you.
Yes, yes. But then it just I don't know. I understand that if you're kicking off a career on TikTok as kind of like a provocateur, or like you're a vlogger, I could see that being like a really good video, of getting that.
Hmm.
It seems like
Yeah,
something like Jake Paul would used to do or something.
yeah, but I don't think I'll be doing all that though. But
No, me neither. If
to
anything,
each
I
his
would just like,
own.
yeah. I sometimes like the lounges that I've been in have not really even been worth it. But I've heard that the Delta Lounge is really nice. They have like good food and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta
So
try it out.
Yeah, try it out. Okay, well, are you gonna do you have one more or two more?
Let's see. I have actually I only have one more.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna do one more as well, and then save the next one for next week. So, I'm gonna jump to obviously the Olympics has been like a really big talk. I love seeing all the Paris Olympic stuff. But there's a whole bunch of niche Olympic sports that everyone's talking about, which I thought we'd go over, and maybe we could
Ooh,
pick which one we would do.
okay.
So some of the ones that we don't know all about, breaking or break dancing. So, bringing out the 1990s and 2000s moves of break dancing. I thought that could be super cool, and I'm very like surprised that that's an Olympic sport. Uh, let's see the next one: ribbon twirling or rhythm gymnastics. So that's where you're doing gymnastics, but you add uh, like hoops, ribbons. A lot of the twirling, more of the whimsical stuff, which I think is super cool.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see. Oh, okay, this one probably one of the most talked about ones: Olympic trampoline. So the stipulations require that you have to be over 8 meters high while performing routines composed of 10 different elements. So they're scored on like the move, their total time in the air, which is really amazing, and then the precision of the execution, amongst other things. Um, so I can't wait to see that. I haven't even seen 1 ounce of that, and I'm really excited to see that. And then finally, one of the weirdest ones, to me at least, is the modern pentathlon. So it's like, we've heard of triathlons and all that stuff, but this one starts out with jumping on an unfamiliar horse, then doing 2 rounds of fencing, and then followed by a cool off with a freestyle swim.
With the exception of breakdancing, I see an emergency room in every one of those things if I tried it.
Me too. There's no way if I jump once on the trampoline, there's no way I'm landing like back on the physical trampoline. I'm landing like on the horse in someone else's pentathlon. Like I'm fencing myself to death somehow. Like I'm traveling. Yeah, there's no. Oh, there was one. That's right. The marathon swimming, is in the high seas for over 2 hours, and so unlike the other competitors where you're in a safe pool, you're in
Hmm.
the actual ocean. So you're like going against tides, currents, sharks, wildlife. I just saw that movie on Netflix, which is Under Paris. It's about uh sharks in the river. So it's like it's scary.
Yeah, don't see myself doing that either.
No, I think maybe rhythmic. Oh no, wait, breakdancing we could be okay with because you're kind of like low to the ground. If anything, I would just get stuck in a position.
Yeah, breakdancing I could do. I mean, obviously, my breakdancing will be much different than, let's say, 30 years ago, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But at least that's like the least harmful one because ribbon dancing I would say is okay, but I feel like I would get like caught in my own ribbon.
yeah. I wonder what other kind of interesting, because it seems like they're always adding something new each Olympics, a different type of
I
sport.
know. I know,
Yeah.
but these ones are cool. I mean, they definitely you have to be in good shape and good uh, flexibility. Like I feel like especially for the rhythmic gymnastics, it's like you have to be good at obviously
Oh, yeah.
gymnastics, but then also dance, like coordination, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
The one thing I'm very surprised I haven't seen yet is video games in the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
They're so popular now. I even know grown men that play video games. I don't play video games like
yeah,
that.
oh yeah. I'm sitting next to one now. Who has his headphones in? But yes, a lot of Red Dead Redemption or something. But yes, um, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the trampoline one. I can't wait to see like how high and how long people are in the air for.
Hmm.
I feel like
I may
that's
try
really
and find
cool.
the breakdance one. It'd be kind of fun to watch that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. But yeah, imagine the video game one where it's just a bunch of like, how do you judge that? You're just sitting watching men play on a cat. I keep saying it's men too. Maybe women want to be in it, but I don't know. Maybe like single cat lady could be an Olympic sport next year too.
There you go. That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, like extreme ice cream eating or something at night. I'll be in it. Okay, that was my last one, and then the other. I have another very fun one for next week that I'm going to save.
Okay. I am going to talk about something very interesting. It's with Vice President Kamala Harris, and I tell you, she is really turning the politics upside down.
Yeah.
Um, she's had, um, I want to say, 40 to 50,000 blacks for Kamala. She's had black men for Kamala. Now she's had white men for Kamala. Now she has white women for Kamala.
Oh my
Where
gosh.
for that one, they had over 100,000 white women on Zoom,
Oh yeah,
which
I
was a
saw
world
that.
record. And they actually shut down the internet, shut it down because it was so many people on there. I don't know. I guess my question to you is, why do you think that people, whether they're older, younger, why do you think so many people are energized right now about her
Oh my
being in?
gosh. Yeah, I mean, I think it changes the whole dynamic of it. Where I think everyone we know or everyone I know felt a little bit kind of disenfranchised, and I think especially like after the last debate, it did not feel like there was a fight on the end, on the end very much, and it just kind of felt like the future was a little bit like, oh gosh, these are the two choices that we have, like no matter what
Right.
side you're on. And I feel like just the way that things shook out now, um, it just feels like we have a chance at someone. Maybe they're not perfect, but someone that's like an energized leader that's showing up that actually has a lot of life force. So, and I think people also just know that there's so much else at stake right now of some of the issues that are being talked about that it's like definitely an important time because I think people can see it going a way that really is scary to some people.
Yeah. I just like the fact that there's so many different demographics that are really excited about getting out and vote.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
and what's amazing is I know for a lot of different voting election cycles, the youth vote has always been lacking where they didn't go out and vote. Where there's literally been records set for how many new voters have registered to vote. How many
yes,
of them actually donated? She raised over $200 million in a week. And
yeah,
these were mostly from small donations, not big ones, which
right.
says something. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow. I mean, it's definitely something new, definitely totally different.
Yeah, and I think social media so much is playing a role in like they're calling it the memification of her, and so it's like I also think too because now they're talking about how it becomes like people embrace music and like they're embracing it as a culture of like what you're voting for someone, and I don't know, it's really cool to see all the TikTok videos and just it's like funny and fun, and I think people I saw something that was like uh what was it like? They're like, I've never been so excited to vote, but they were like making it like a brat summer where it's like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they're voting with their iced coffee. And I think it's just all the things are like connecting where social media is connecting with politics. But um, I think people are joining together because they are enthused about having like a new option, but they also are knowing that there's very important topics at stake that could shape a lot of the next decade or so. Or
Oh yeah.
even longer than that. It's like their children's children might be affected by what can happen.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the things that excites me is, like we talked about on the previous episode where we talked about how, she loves to dance, she loves to cook.
Yeah, yeah,
To me, it's like she's human. She's an actual human being.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
To me, that connects more with a lot more people. To me.
yes. To me too, and like it kind of has the Obama factor for me as well, where this it seems like this human surrounds themselves with other somewhat normal, smart people as well. Like it doesn't seem like a circus show. So which is
Hmm.
something that I like and need. And I would love if politics is just like run on its own and we can trust that like things are happening with smart people and we don't have to fight so much like infighting.
Hmm. Yeah, but that was actually pretty good. So I'm like, wow. And like I said, I think it's gonna be kind of interesting to see who her vice president pick will be, though. You know.
Yeah. I want was it Mayor Pete? Is he one of the
Hmm.
ones? Pete Buttigieg? Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
think that would be
Yep.
cool. And there was like an astronaut person too, right? I forgot what his name was.
Yes. Yes. That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's Gabby Gifford's husband, who's
Oh, really?
mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just excited about it. Seems like we need like it's madness now what's happening. So I think you're right. I think it's a very energizing, hopeful time. This was the only time I honestly felt emotional where in the past couple of years where I was like, "Oh my gosh, if things don't go this way, like a lot of us will feel very crushed, and scared." So try not to
Yeah.
think those thoughts too.
Yeah, I think what's to me was refreshing is, like you say, it is something totally different. And the thing is, whether or not you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, you can't help but to like her because she is a generally well educated, someone who has all the credentials, and someone who's a human being. I mean, she can
Yes.
connect with pretty much anyone. And I haven't seen, we haven't seen that for a long time. So it's
Right,
kind of
right.
refreshing to see.
It is. I feel very refreshed too. Honestly, after the debates and everything, I was feeling the pretty like just like I don't even want to vote. I feel very like blah towards everything, and then this happened, and I was like, okay, like I'm back on. So I texted like some of my votes, like, my like very very Democrat friends. I'm like, I'm back. So and
Oh,
it's like it's fun when it's fun to be part of something, and I think before it wasn't really feeling that fun to be connected with it, and now it's like okay, we feel like, and which I'm sure the other side, or not that I'm on the side, but, like I'm sure everyone does too. It's like it's fun when you're part of a team that you're actually enthused about being on. So
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. Let the fun keep coming.
yeah, please. All the single child cat ladies, we need to party it up.
Speaking of fun, do you have anything coming up?
Yes, not this week, but actually, what's coming up is Friday's my birthday. Woo!
Ooh, happy early birthday.
Thank you. So I'll be celebrating on Friday, and then the week after, I will be at the Burbank Comedy Festival, which is really fun. If anyone is in the Southern California area, um, come hang out in Burbank and see a lot of comedians. Some are good, and some are mediocre. So, I'm in both of those categories, depending on the night. So yes.
It'll be a fun night.
Yeah, super. It's actually 5 days, 5 days
Mm,
long.
nice.
Yep. So it's really cool. They have like panels, um,
Mhm.
a lot of after parties. Last year I got a little bit stressed out and I left. Like I'm so bad at hanging out. Like I love to just do shows and leave, but I'm really trying to get better at like staying and talking to people and not running away.
Mm, okay,
So yeah,
okay. That sounds
yep,
like a lot of fun.
yeah. And I don't think it's out yet, but I had so much fun on your show.
Yes, that one will be coming out next week.
Cool. I can't wait. We had such a good time.
Yes, yes, we did. And I can't wait till you're a guest host and we're interviewing Kristen. That'll be a
I
lot of fun.
know. We're gonna dig deep. I feel like she's ready to get vulnerable, just like I was. I'm ready.
And then maybe we'll do the rotation where you guys are interviewing me.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get in the hot seat. You're in trouble.
Well,
Cool. Well,
this was
thank
a great
you.
show. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. We always have a lot of fun. Definitely make sure that you tune in. Tell everybody about us as well, too. So I am Lawrence Elrod,
And I am Meryl Climo.
and always have those thirsty topics, conversations, and anything else. Take care,
Yeah.
everyone. Bye bye.
Maybe.